The headlines: the Workers' Union gives notice of dispute at Water Authority. Body pull from sea, man shot, police report. And Springer and Foundation are the first zone winners in the revamped interschool sports. Welcome to Nation News for Wednesday, March the 9th, 2016. Thanks so much for joining us. While the private sector appears to be staying clear of industrial strife, another government agency is caught up in a dispute with a labor union. The Barbados Workers' Union has called an emergency meeting of its Executive Council on Friday to decide how it will handle what it calls an impasse with the Water Authority. The union claims there are outstanding payments due to workers for more than 9 years. The BWU said that during a meeting between the two sides on Monday, it became more apparent, to use the union's words, that the BWA intends to dishonor agreements made. The dispute has developed even as the Water Authority's workers have been put under pressure as a result of shortages in parts of the country. The National Union of Public Workers is currently at odds with the Airport Authority, also over claimed back pay. Patients at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital have been assured that the hospital's sterilization practices have not been compromised, although a sterilizer in the main operating theatre is not working. Nation News had been told that instruments must now be sent to another floor to be sterilized and could run the risk of contamination. However, the Director of Medical Services, Tony Harris, said most items are actually sterilized in a central area and not the actual operating theatres. He said a dumbwaiter, actually a small lift, transports the fully wrapped instruments and they do not pass on the corridors. Mr. Harris added that the sterilization units are monitored on a daily basis to make sure they are functioning well. Some construction activity has resumed on the Harlequin Resort property in Christchurch, but officials are staying quiet on exactly what is happening. The Hastings site had fallen into disrepair after owners were forced to halt construction of a boutique hotel 3 years ago when a financial scandal broke in Europe. A 5-year battle had been waged in British courts after a former director was accused of misappropriating millions of dollars. With little fanfare, the sugarcane crop has begun. Sugar's diminished stature and uncertain future meant that not many outside of the industry actually knew that reaping started on Monday. The harvest is expected to yield about 7,000 tons of sugar, well below the 12,000 of last year, which was itself a wretched return. Reaping started at Constance St. George on Monday and continued with the weighing of canes at Carrington St. Philip on Tuesday. The chairman of the Barbados Sugar Industry Limited, Patrick Bethel, was unable to say when the lone factory, Port Vale, would begin grinding. A body has been pulled from the sea and a man is in hospital with a gunshot wound. 2 stories in our crime report. The shooting took place at Upper Carter's Gap in Christchurch just after 8 o'clock on Tuesday night and left district resident 39-year-old Gary Zephyrin with a wound to his right leg that required hospital treatment. The body of Mervyn Boville of Yearwood Road, Mount Stanford, St. James, was recovered from the sea off Glitter Bay, St. James, in the morning. 10 people who have contributed to gender justice in Barbados will be highlighted in a documentary later this year from government's Bureau of Gender Affairs. Acting Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Social Care, Janet Phillips, made the announcement during a ceremony to honor 6 women on International Women's Day. She encouraged members of the public to nominate individuals who have made significant contributions to gender and development over the past 50 years.
In celebrating 50 years of gender and development, Barbados will be given the opportunity to select 10 persons who will be honored for their contributions to the development of gender equality and social justice over the past 50 years. 50 years of gender and development in Barbados is a compilation of the words, the works, and the visions of the people of Barbados. It seeks to highlight the work of government, the Bureau of Gender Affairs, and men and women who have made significant contributions to gender equality and social justice.
In sport, Spray Memorial and Christchurch Foundation have won the first of the two zones in the revamped secondary schools track and field championships. In the Esther Maynard zone of the Powerade BSAC Games, the girls from Spray have 476 points, 16 more than Foundation. Harrison College were third with 352.5 points. Among the boys, Foundation won with 350.5 points. Cabomere were second on 313 and St. Leonard's third on 277. The second zone, named after Frank Blackman, will be held on Thursday and Friday, and the best performers from the two zones will compete in the grand finals next week. Second place, UWI Blackbirds came from behind twice to beat Notre Dame 3-2 on Tuesday night and sustain their title challenge in the Digicel Premier League. That's in football. Dames went ahead 1-0 and then 2-1, but late goals from Mario Hart and Shamar Mark sealed the win for the Blackbirds. Let's take in those two goals now. And finally, a man from Alabama in the United States will plead guilty to stealing $196,000 worth of quarters while working as an employee for Brinks Armored Transport. According to an Alabama Department of Justice press release, Stephen Dennis, 49, stole the money in quarters belonging to Federal Reserve Bank of Atlanta in 2014 while working his final weeks as a money processing manager for Brinks. Dennis has agreed to plead guilty to the charge and pay back the full amount to Brinks, which reimbursed the bank. He stole a total of 784,000 quarters, weighing an estimated 9,800 pounds, between January 1st and February 20th, 2014. Those quarters truly added up to what the FBI official called the equivalent of a major bank heist. And that's Nation News for Wednesday. For more news, log on to nationnews.com and follow us on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. And remember to pick up your Daily Nation on Thursday or subscribe to our e-paper.